Okay, let's see who's in the call this morning. Let's see. A few people. I guess the rest of them still sleeping. Ready. Let's see chat. Okay, so we're supposed to do configure iSCSI. I mean, yeah, iSCSI. So let's see if we can do it this morning. Let me do remote desktop. Remote desktop here. I don't like this. It's too small screen. Let me minimize the one over here. Okay, and so this is basically the host. It's supposed to have, yeah, this is my host. So if you go to Hyper-V, Tools Hyper-V, I'm going to tell you about the virtual machines, which is this one is supposed to be the server. I mean, the Active Directory, and this is two other server. SRV2 is going to be the iSCSI target, and we need to make this one as the initiator. But before we go there, we need to make sure we can ping by name. Each one of them ping by name. So if I go over here to server 2, yeah, it's raining over here. Rain, 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 I guess. Okay, you notice we have a domain called stp.local. I made it simple. So when I log into this machine, I log as domain administrator. Okay, so already that one. So I just want to make sure I can ping SRV3. Ping SRV3. Let's see if I ping it by there, but this way. And it doesn't look like, doesn't like it's. Come on. Request timeout. Why is that? Let's see. So how about I put dot local dot stp dot local. So we have to give it. Maybe the server is still sleeping too. Let's see. Let's wake it up. Need to wake the server up to prepare it. Okay. Same thing. Password 01. Also, it's a good idea to make sure the server's up, the domain. I should. Ping. Ah. Password 01. Okay, so they should be all out. Let's go back to this guy here. Repeat the same command. We have an issue with the pinging. So that's why I need to test this one before I do the initiator. Because if you cannot resolve the name, you cannot do the initiator. Let's see. How about if we ping by IP address? Ping 192.168.50.30. Doesn't look like it's working. It was working before. What happened? Well, I'll make sure we have the right IP address. Well, actually, I can check from, let's see. You go right here with server manager. Slow. Come on, server manager. So we go to local server, and that's the server name, which is correct. And this is the address is correct. So why is not working? The same thing with this guy here. So let's see. Come on. I know it's slow today. So that's your local server on SR3, server 3. It's supposed to be part of the domain. And that's true, stp.local and the IP address. Come on. Supposed to pop. Here we go. So 192.168.50.3. Let's see if you double click on this address. I need to make sure that DNS is configured on that. Properties. And we need to go to version 4. And we have the right DNS on it. So let's see if we can ping the DNS server first. Run CMD ping 192.168.50.10. Okay, now we got some result, which is good. Now, if we ping SRV2 dot stp dot local. So we got an issue with the DNS. I don't know why. Okay, let's try one more time. How about if we ping it by IP address? 192.168.50.20. Okay, so we got a problem right here. One more test we need to do. How about if we have ping RM dash SRV1. Okay, so that tells me the SRV2 something wrong with it, okay? Because I pinged by name from SRV3 to SRV1. So let's go to this guy and see what's his problem. Looks like he has a problem. Let's see. Can I ping by address the server or the domain? Ping 192.168.50.10, which is good. How about that theory? It's not pinging the that theory, so okay. Um, let's see, ping rm dash srv1 dot local. RM SRV1, yeah. So SRV3 can ping in by name and by IP address the domain, and SRV2 can do the same thing, but between them there's no communication. So what do you think is the problem? Ready? Clue? Clue. Let's see. Let's see if we can go to. Let me disable firewalls in there. It sometimes makes a difference. I mean, we tested before, it works fine.
Would it be the virtual switch?
Both of them, the SRv3 and the RM server 1 on the same switch, and they can ping. So they're all on the same switch. So let's see, control panel. Let's go to system security. We need to go to Windows firewall right here. And we need to go, let's see, change notification. Turn defender firewall. Okay, let's turn it off. Okay, on the 3 of them. So at least now we can see if that will resolve the issue. Ping 192.168.50.20. That's something fishy. But Windows behavior is not really one day is working. Okay, so if I ping the domain 192.168.50.10, so no problem. So SRv3 can talk to this guy, and this guy can talk to this guy. So why this guy does not talk to this guy? Let me disable the firewall on this guy too. Let's see, maybe that's just something to do. Let's see. Because sometimes firewalls makes an issue. What did I do? We need to disable firewall. Okay, so turn this one, and this one. Say okay. And test it. Let's see how we can test again. Ping by IP address 192.168.50.10 or .30 actually. Now it's working. So let's see if we can ping it by name. Ping srv3.local. Oh, .stb. stp.local. Yep, that's the firewall issues. So that's a common with what do you call it? With the server 3, with the server. Always a good idea to disable the firewall. It's not good practice, but it's working. So now let's go back to our objective is to install the initiators. I mean, the iSCSI target. So you have to go to Server Manager and you need to add the role, but I already added. So you go over here, add role, or you can go over here, it doesn't matter. I already added for you, so you go to iSCSI. And now you need to initiate it. So you go two parts. You create iSCSI, you go over here, and the disk over here. So that's good. So for people that don't understand how to do it, how to add roles, so you can go to manage, add roles and features. You follow the wizard. Next, you go next. Okay, that's the server that we need to put iSCSI on it. So you go to the file and storage, you click on this guy here. Okay, then they have another click here, like an arrow. You click on it and you select iSCSI server. We need to, let's see, target right here. iSCSI target. It's already checked. It's already working. I already installed it on it. So now all what you need to go do and configure it, like here. So we go over here, say new iSCSI virtual disk. That's what we need to do. Let's see. They have an option to browse where you want to do it. And I think you go to, I think E, yeah, E right here. Select that folder. It's supposed to give you next. Yep, next right here. And you have to give it a name. I don't know what you want to call it. iSCSI D. iSCSI D, data, whatever you want to call it. You go next. And that's the size, fix, or dynamic. We'll go dynamic with, this is, let's see. I don't have too much space in it, but since dynamic, I can put like up to 100, I believe. Let's see if that will take it. Go next. iSCSI target. New iSCSI target. Yes, let's see. So this is going to ask you if you want to do it on the existing ones. No, we need to do it on a new one. So you go next. You go previous here. You need to go, I misspelled the iSCSI. So you go with iSCSI target one. Okay, and you go next. You add it. Okay, so now we need to add the initiator. And to add the initiators, you have different methods to do it. You can do it right here by IQN, or you can do it by DNS name or IP address or MAC address. So if you do right here with the this one here, you need to resolve who's the initiator is going to be SRV3. So you have to put let's see, SRV3. So to make sure we can resolve that, we can put SRV3, and we can check the name if can find it on the domain to resolve it. And it did resolve it. You'd see it on the domain controller. So you put OK and say OK. Let's see. So now it's supposed to give the IQ right here. So that's IQN. Remember the IQN we talked about it the other day? It's going to be in this form. So you go next. Now they have an options for authentication, but this is more complex. We're not going to go through this setup. You go now and it did it. So we go create. So now we created the iSCSI target. Close. Okay, so now what we need to do, we need to go to the initiator. Who's the initiator is going to be? SRV3. The initiator, you have to go through the tools to activate it. You go to tools right here. And I think okay, it's right here. iSCSI initiators. So you follow the wizards. Okay, Microsoft iSCSI service is not running. So are you sure you want to run it? Yes, we need to do the services. Okay, now they ask you the target. What is the target? So the target supposed to be SRV2. So if we put SRV2, we connect. There we go. It's connected, so it's done. This is very good. So that's why if I didn't do the first step, if you remember, that's why I was pinging by name, because you need to resolve that name. So when you put, for example, SRV2 and SRV3, they need to be resolved. And the only way you can resolve it is to have Active Directory and DNS. So if you have some kind of firewall or some kind of problem, we're not going to achieve this lot. That's why I tested first. So always test before you do this kind of stuff. So this is done. Now you need to select the volume and devices. And from here, let's see. See volume input, auto config. Let's see what it says. Auto config. So that's auto config, and you say okay. Let's see what's happening. Okay, so let's go to server 3. We are on server 3. Let's see. See if we go to PCs. Supposed to see, let's see. I think we made something, disk management. Supposed to add it there. Yeah, this one here. So this is the one with the 100. So we need to initialize it. You follow? So you need to put them online. I'm sorry, you have to put it online. And allocate it. Let's see. Initialize the disk. And you can format it. Voila, it's there now. So right now you can do unallocated, so you can create a new volume, simple volume. You go next, and you can format it. You can name it whatever you want. and finish it. Okay, so this is up. So, what do you think? Is it easy to do?
Yeah, I just
Now you
picture the
can put
flow of
whatever
it.
information on it. Now, this is normally done not on 40 gig or so. You need some kind of big storage because when you're doing iSCSI and you need to do it for failover clusters and all that stuff, so you need a lot of space. It's supposed to be racks, and racks of disks to do it. So, um, let's see, what is it in here? Yeah, so I got, let's see. Let's see, what's the size of this one here? 100. Yep. Anyway, the other thing we did not talk about is what is that slide right here? We were talking about implementing ISNS, which is Internet Storage Naming Services. Okay, and the same way, you need to go to the same place to implement this one like a feature. But before you go and start implementing, you need to know what's the purpose for it. And and over here it tells you how to add it. It's the same way that we went to the let's see. You can go over here and you do what machine is this? Server 2, yes. You can go to tools, not tools, manage, add servers, not add server, add let's see, manage, add roles and features. So you go next, server over here. So now you're supposed to have under the storage, I believe, you're supposed to have under this one here, you're supposed to have iSCSI. What is that? Is it INS? I didn't see it. Anybody see it? We are on the right place. Let's see. Let's see what they say on this slide. 1 second. Let's see. Install INS feature with add roles and feature wizard or PowerShell. After installing, configure the Open ISN server from the tool menu in Server Manager. Must be configured in iSCSI initiator to register the INS server. We already did that. So maybe it's in the tools. Let's see, because we installed iSCSI first. Let's see. Server manager. Let's see. Oh, now I disconnect. Tools. It's not there. Let's see. Okay. Next. Assign that. Done. Okay, let's see. Close. Still not connected. The iSCSI. Anyway. So how are we going to add the INS? It looks like somewhere in the role. Let's do one more time. Let's see, add features. You go next. Next. You go in here. Oh, can't see it. Okay, so now you go file server. Let me see what the storage right here. Anybody see it? The internet storage name. It's supposed to be here somewhere. I didn't see it. I'll look for it. Anyway, I'll look at it. I'll look for it and let you know in a second. But anyway, so we need to know the purpose of it. What is the main purpose for that? For the what is it? For the ISNS. It's basically this is feature provided, which is basically it's like you see how the DNS basically helps you to locate resources. This is the same thing with the ISNS. This feature provides, for example, automatic discovery as well as to centralize management and configuration for both the fiber channel and the iSCSI. Now, for the fiber channel, you have to have ISNS. Now, for the iSCSI, it's an optional, okay? But it's like a database. It tells you to resolve or to locate the initiator and the target, okay? So let's see if we have some kind of picture so we can do. So let's say let's say this is your storage right here, okay? And next to your storage, you have your server, which is you have the iSCSI target. Okay, this is the iSCSI target. Okay, and what you have to do, of course, this one will be connected. Your storage will be connected to your server right here. And of course, it's going to be connected with the some kind of network because that's what Ethernet, iSCSI use the Ethernet, not like the fiber channel. The fiber channel has its own network, right? And this one will be connected this way. Let's say. And of course, you're going to have a bunch of, what do you call it? iSCSI initiator, right? So we're going to have initiators right here, and let's say right here. Those are initiators. So, and also it's connected. So it's connected here, here, and here. So what's the ISN? The ISN basically, which is Internet Storage Naming Service, which is ISNS. Okay, so is like database. Okay, like this. That central management database has information about the target and the initiator. So those guys, they're gonna know, like those guys is gonna know about the target, and the target is going to know about the initiator. So this is basically it'll create some kind of centralized management. Okay. So automate when you have centralized management, what we automate in it? We automate in the discovery of the iSCSI target and the discovery of the iSCSI initiator. So that's basically what is the purpose for this one here. Now they have another concept. Another concept basically talks about in the book. What else they talk about in the book? They talk about the DCP, configured data center bridging. Okay. Well, the data center bridging, especially, it's essential in when you deal with fiber channels. Okay, so we go back to the paint. Now, this is basically creating some kind of redundancy between data centers. Let's see. So if you have, for example, this is because when you are in the cloud and you want to increase high availability, okay, so you always need to create some kind of redundancy, okay? So you're going to have a multiple SANs in this case. Okay, you're going to have a SAN right here. Let's see. This is a SAN 0 or whatever you call it, SAN 1. SAN 1. And actually, you got your fiber channel built in such a redundancy, okay? So you're going to have that's your fiber channel right here, and it's connected in redundancy. So, like so. And of course, you have another link like so. And now you got your Ethernet. Let's see, Ethernet, which is like this. Have it like another Ethernet like this. And of course, you have your servers. You might have a bunch of them right here. Doesn't matter how many servers you have. So, and of course, this will be connected to your servers somehow. Okay. And this is your Ethernet. So you get some kind of redundancy from here, from here. And also, this will be connected to this. This is connected to this. So it'll create some kind of redundancy on the fiber channel. So this part right here is your fiber channel. Now let's see if we can make him with red. Okay, this is your fiber channel, and this is your Ethernet. You follow? So you will have a multiple server accessing a multiple SANs. And we talked about fiber channel. On the fiber channel, they have their own network, okay? But all of this basically is designed to do a data center, part of the data center configuration. So if you want to, for example, specialize in data centers, you need to learn all the characteristic of, for example, the storage, how to manage the storage, how to configure fiber channels, because we do all this one to create what we call high availability. Okay. So you need to know, like, for example, if one leg fail, how are we going to access the information, how the data, especially if you're doing like virtualization. So this is very, very important to design all this infrastructure. Especially if you want to work with Amazon or Azure, because they lease a platform in the cloud. So if you know how to do all the stuff, you can make a puku money on building data centers, because they need special expertise in that. And even though they have something else, it's not in the book. I don't know. I didn't see it. They call multiple input path. So, which is paint. So what does that mean? Is if you have a storage or an iSCSI target, the iSCSI target is basically what? It's a servers connected with storage. That's basically what it is. Okay, and you have the initiator here. So on what we had initially, you have your switch and it's connected like this. And of course, over here you have multiple whatever disks, whatever. So you have a lot of redundancy here. Okay. And that's where we say, okay, so if one disk failed, we always have duplication for the data on this one here. Now, of course, over here you have more than one server. Okay. What I call it. So if one of the disks fail, because we already know that we can configure this one in such redundancy or arrays or whatever. But what happened if this leg fail or this switch goes down? Okay, so that's why they create some kind of redundancy in here, so you can connect this one to multiple of switches and multiple of link, like here, like here, like here, and like here, like so. So what this one provide, like for example, failover redundancy, and also give you high availability, and also create some kind of load balance between them. And this is what we call a multi-path input output. So they call it multi-path or MPIO, which is means multi-path input slash output. Okay, it's all about redundancy, because you need to ask the questions. If I don't have this right here, you're gonna say, okay, what if this guy goes down? Then you have no communication between the target or the storage and the initiator. The initiator basically is client accessing or seeking storage. So if this goes bad, what's going to happen? Those guys cannot access anything in here. So we need to create some kind of multiple path or redundancy. So okay, if this is Pukuk, when it goes down, then we already have communication here. And it's not, and also it's going to improve load balancing in here. Okay. So we don't have to have a traffic in one of them, especially when they deal with storage. And if you're using only iSCSI, and iSCSI. iSCSI is not like Fiber Channel. Fiber Channel, because they have their own network. It has higher bandwidth usually than the iSCSI. So if you build this one with iSCSI with multiple paths and give you some kind of load balance, that'll be the ticket. So this is very, very important. Now, also, with the figure, I don't know if we saved the other one. Not this one, the other one. And also, you have to once you have what do you call data center bridging. Also, you can configure some kind of like they mentioned in your book about the quality of service. Because if you have a lot of traffic, so you need to have some kind of decision. What kind of application has to go first? And that's also you can basically prioritize your traffic. Which one is going to go first? By implementing, like we know, the quality of service. And that's basically deterministic performance for DCP exchange. What's a DCP? Data center bridging. Okay, data center bridging. Usually this is designed in a really complex way to create high availability because first of all you have high-end infrastructure like fiber channels or so, and you have high-end SANs. Like when you talk about SANs, not just one drive or two. You talk about racks, and racks of storage. So sometimes you have to give some kind of priority for what application you need to give priority. Just if one link goes down and or you have more traffic, one application has more traffic than the others and or more important. Because if somebody on the network and trying to download the movies, to watch movies, and somebody basically wants to access the database for business. So the people who are trying to download and watch movies, okay, is they're going to generate a lot of traffic, and the people trying to do their work, it's going to be slow for them. So that's why you need to implement some kind of quality of service to basically prioritize your traffic or reshaping your traffic. Some people, what they do, they said, okay, it doesn't matter. I'm going to give this kind of traffic, let's say, and people want to go to YouTube or something like that, or whatever application that's not related to business or whatever. I'm going to give them like bandwidth of 600 or 56K or 640K or whatever. Okay, so really, 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 they dedicate like a small bandwidth. And for the other application, they might give them more. And that's what we call reshaping. We'll talk about that in Cisco. So they have a special chapter for that. Any question about this stuff? Now, of course, you can do duplication. This is another part of configuration. You can give it a role. And what that means, this is the technology, and I think it's in 2016. You eliminate duplicate data. Instead, if you have a storage and you have the same files and everywhere, so they eliminate duplicate of the data. And you can do also, and that's what they're saying. Duplication reduce multiple copies of a file or data block to a single instance of the file or data block. So this is all part of the implementation in storage. Like I said, storage is really, really another specialties, because that's what the people do all day long. managing data center. The data center, basically, you need to know how to manage or you need to assess how much storage you want based on the number of users, based on the applications, how you want to connect it to the fiber channel, and from the fiber channel, how you want to connect it to the blade server, and how you're going to connect it to the client. It's all tied all together. That's a special network, which is part of the data center. Now, of course, when we talk about the high-end switches, when you connect to these guys here, so now we're not talking about an Ethernet or so. Those high ports, like 10 gig or 40 gig ports. Now, if you go Google Cisco Nexus 9000 or any of these switches, it costs a lot of money because you're paying for fast access ports. Like I said, if you want to get to this business in data center, it's good because they have a special customers for data centers. We know we have a public cloud and private cloud. So in the private cloud, for example, government, because government, they don't trust to put their information on the cloud, so they have their own infrastructure. And also hospitals. Some hospitals, they like to keep their own cloud. They design their own cloud, their own data center. So anything like a data related to data security and all that stuff, they like to keep their own data centers. So one time I've seen an ad for Epic. Anybody familiar with Epic? What's Epic? It's a medical software. And they were looking for some people knows how to configure the Nexus switches and connect storage to data center. And those they pay like hundreds of thousands a year. You can make a bunch of money. Now, of course, all this ties also with the you need to know a little VMware or Hyper-V or any kind of stuff. So, how you go to duplication, deduplications? I think you can go to what is my data center right here? Let's see, tools, manage, add roles and features. Let's see. It's supposed to be on storage, if I'm not mistaken. File and storage. Oh, yeah, data deduplication. You see on that? This is like you, this is where you check this one here and you go next. And that's how, basically to what? Main purpose of this one here, to eliminate what? Duplication, data duplication. Now, one thing I need to see. Let's see. The only thing I didn't see the what we call the ISNS. Did you see it here somewhere? It's supposed to be in somewhere in here. I'm gonna look for it. See where is that ammo located? It's under feature, maybe. Shouldn't be. That's what we talked about, the data center bridging earlier, the DCP, where you can create more multiplication, so you can enable this one here.
Go down a little bit.
Bridging.
There's
I'm sorry?
the ISNS is right down below where you are right now. right below IP address management.
Yeah. Right. So that's what you go. It's in the feature. Yep. Not on the role. Yep. So I know I saw it somewhere. So, and that's how you enable it. Now, you need to understand what is the purpose for this, the ISNS. The main purpose is what? Basically to automate discovery between the iSCSI target and the iSCSI initiators. It's like a database, basically, that makes the two discover each other. Some people is like they're talking about like it's really like a DNS designed for storage, but that's what the ISNS. So basically, to automatic discovery, and it give you some kind of centralized management and configuration for both fiber channel and iSCSI storage devices. And mostly is for fiber channels. So you want to find a way for people to manage it. And that's why they call it Internet Storage Naming Service. Okay, any question? That's a lot of information. How you doing on the lab? Did you get across any of the labs that dealing with this stuff in this chapter? Uh,
Yeah, the labs aren't bad.
did y'all start the chapter 5 labs? Some of y'all? Mm, okay. So please start chapter 5 lab because it's going to help you. I know this chapter has a lot of labs because I was looking at the book. It has a lot of labs to do. So my sinus is acting up this morning because of this weather. Let's see. What else they have here in the book? So I think one of the most important lab you need to do is to create the initiator and the target. It's very important to do. Let's see. Now, of course, you can automate the process by using some of this commands instead of the GUI. You can do PowerShell. Okay, so this is part number 5. Yeah, like configure iSCSI initiator. They have it on page 186. It's activities, and you can do it by lab. And they call it new iSCSI target. If you want to do it with the commandlet. Remove an iSCSI target and virtual disk. You can do that. That's lab 188, lab 56. So at least do those kind of labs so to let you understand what's going on. Alrighty. So that's pretty much for chapter 5. Number 6 actually is an interesting chapter. It talks about implementing virtualization with Hyper-V Part 1. This is where you're going to do all the virtual machines and how you replicate your virtual machines or copy it and deal with how you copy virtual disks. So we'll do that when it gets to chapter 6. Let's talk about how much time we have. Well, we have time. Let's do the back of the chapter for 5, and we need to talk about test. When are you going to take the test for chapter 4 and 5? Let's see. We'll take a Wednesday? Or you want to take tomorrow? I'll give you Wednesday. How about that?
Yeah, Wednesday probably works.
Okay, so tomorrow we'll do some back of the chapters, and we'll do what do you call it? Maybe a couple of exercise, or we prep. You need to prep for chapter 6. I don't know if in your lab, if you did the how many virtual machine you created? You're supposed to create like what? Four virtual machines? Like in a domain? Did you create a domain in the lab? No? Okay, so we'll do tomorrow some labs, like domain, how to create a domain, how to put machines on the domain and all that stuff. Okay. So on the lab so far, you didn't do any virtual machine with domain? No?
I don't remember.
Okay, I'll show you tomorrow. I will do a couple of them. So you will have a clue what's going on. Because it's important to know how to configure a domain and how to add user to the domain. So, and also if we create standalone server, how we put the standalone server on the domain. So we'll do that tomorrow. Okay, so if you don't have questions, I'll see you in the next class. Let's see who's any question? I didn't see a lot of participant in the morning, I guess. Okay, go get you some coffee and prep. Be ready for the next class because I think we have a different topic in the Cisco class. I'll see you in a few minutes at 9:25 if you don't have a question.
Alrighty, see you then.
No questions.
All righty.